Imagine you are on a boat. It is midnight. The ocean is completely still, and then your sonar picks up something massive, something moving deep beneath you, something that, according to science, should not exist anymore. This tooth was found just 10,000 years ago, not 10 million, not 1 million, 10,000 years ago. That is practically yesterday in geological time. The creature it belonged to, the Megalodon, was the most powerful predator that ever lived on planet Earth. And today, we ask the question the entire world is afraid to answer. Is the Megalodon still alive? Before we ask if it is still alive, we need to understand what we are actually dealing with, because most people think the Megalodon was just a big shark. It was not. It was something else entirely. Size. Scientists estimate the Megalodon reached lengths of 60 to 70 feet. Some researchers believe certain individuals could have reached 80 feet. For comparison, the great white shark, the most feared predator in today's oceans, only grows to around 20 feet. The Megalodon was 3 to 4 times longer and significantly heavier, estimated at up to 100 tons. The Megalodon's bite force has been calculated at approximately 40,000 pounds per square inch. A lion bites at around 1,000 pounds per square inch. A great white around 4,000 pounds per square inch. The Megalodon? 40,000. That is enough force to crush a steel car door like a piece of paper. No creature that has ever walked or swum on this planet came close to that level of raw power. The Megalodon did not eat fish. It hunted whales. Full-grown, adult humpback whales. Scientists have found ancient whale bones with Megalodon bite marks so deep they went completely through the bone. Researchers also discovered that the Megalodon had a strategy. It would first target the flippers and tail of a whale to immobilize it, then move in for the kill. This was not just brute force. This was calculated, intelligent hunting behavior. How long it dominated the Earth. The Megalodon first appeared approximately 23 million years ago and ruled the oceans for over 20 million years. Our entire human species has only existed for around 300,000 years. The Megalodon outlasted us by a factor of nearly 70. It was the single most successful apex predator in the history of life on this planet. And then, it was gone. Or so we are told. The official scientific position is that the Megalodon went extinct approximately 3.6 million years ago. The leading theory is that a global cooling event changed the oceans. The warm, shallow seas where megalodons hunted began to shrink, and their primary prey, large whales, migrated to colder, deeper waters that the Megalodon could not follow. That is the accepted explanation, and for most scientists, the case is closed. But here is where things get very, very interesting. The tooth that changes everything. In the late 19th and early 20th century, oceanographers on one of the most famous research expeditions in history, the HMS Challenger expedition, dredged teeth from the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. Finding megalodon teeth on the ocean floor is not unusual. They are found regularly all over the world. What was unusual was the estimated age of some of these particular specimens. Certain teeth from that expedition were dated at somewhere between 10,000 and 24,000 years old. Not millions of years. Thousands. If accurate, that would place a living megalodon during the last ice age, at a time when modern humans already walked the Earth, at a time when our ancestors were painting caves and building the first settlements. The scientific community has debated this dating ever since. Some argue the methods used were unreliable. Others say the data is valid. But the debate has never been fully resolved. And that uncertainty is worth sitting with for a moment. Because if a megalodon was alive 10,000 years ago, what makes us absolutely certain it is not alive today? Humans have explored less than 20% of the ocean. Less than 20%. The ocean covers 71% of the Earth's surface. It holds 97% of all water on the planet. And we have mapped it in less detail than we have mapped the surface of Mars. The deepest point in the ocean, the Mariana Trench, reaches nearly 36,000 feet. That is almost 7 miles straight down into the Earth. The pressure at that depth is over 1,000 times greater than at the surface. Temperatures hover just above freezing, and it is completely, utterly, permanently dark. We have sent humans to the Mariana Trench only a small handful of times in all of human history. There are regions of the deep ocean that no human technology has ever reached or surveyed. We keep finding things we thought didn't exist. The giant squid, a creature capable of growing to 43 feet in length, was considered a myth for hundreds of years. Sailors across multiple centuries described enormous tentacled sea monsters. Scientists dismissed them. We did not capture the first confirmed footage of a living giant squid in its natural habitat until 2004, not 1904, 2004, within the lifetime of most people watching this video. In 2021, just a few years ago, scientists officially confirmed the discovery of a new species of beaked whale, a large marine mammal that no one in the scientific community knew existed. We are still finding previously unknown large animals in the ocean in the 21st century. So when someone confidently states that the megalodon cannot possibly be hiding somewhere in the deep ocean, the honest question to ask them is, based on what exactly? We have not looked. Not even close. In 1918, off the coast of New South Wales, Australia, a group of professional lobster fishermen, men who spent their entire lives on the ocean and knew it better than almost anyone, reported an encounter that none of them could explain. A shark of extraordinary size approached their boat and consumed their crab pots whole. These were large, heavy traps measuring over 3 feet across. The shark took them as if they were nothing. The fishermen, independently and separately, described the shark as being somewhere between 100 and 115 feet in length. Every single witness told the same story without coordinating with the others. In 1954, the commercial vessel Rachel Cohen was brought into dry dock in Adelaide, Australia, for routine maintenance. When workers examined the hull below the waterline, they made a remarkable discovery. 17 enormous shark teeth were embedded in the metal plating. Marine experts were called in to examine the teeth. They could not match them to any known living species of shark. The size of the bite patterns in the hull suggested an animal of extraordinary dimensions. The official record of this incident exists. The teeth were examined by professionals. No one has ever provided a satisfying conventional explanation for what made those marks. Multiple deep-sea research expeditions in recent decades have logged sonar contacts with large, unidentified biological objects at extreme depths. Objects moving at speeds and in patterns that do not match any known whale species or any known large shark. These anomalies have been formally recorded, but remain unclassified and unexplained. In several documented cases, the objects tracked were estimated to be significantly larger than any known living marine animal. Scientists who reviewed the data described the readings as, and this is a direct quote from one researcher, genuinely puzzling. I want to be clear here. These sightings and sonar contacts do not prove the megalodon is alive. Some may be exaggerated, some may have ordinary explanations, but the pattern across different countries, different centuries, different oceans is not something that can be completely dismissed without investigation. And the investigation, for the most part, has not happened. Now, I want to be completely honest with you, because I think you deserve the full picture, not just the exciting parts. The scientific consensus is clear. The megalodon is almost certainly extinct. Here are the strongest arguments for why. A creature the size of the megalodon would need to consume an estimated 2,000 to 3,000 pounds of food every single day to survive. A predator of that scale actively hunting in modern oceans would leave unmistakable evidence. We would see megalodon-sized bite wounds on modern whales. Whale carcasses wash ashore regularly all over the world. Marine biologists examine every single one. Not one has shown evidence of a megalodon attack in modern times. If the megalodon existed in any significant numbers, the whale population would reflect it. It does not. Sharks shed enormous numbers of teeth throughout their lives, sometimes thousands of teeth over a lifetime. Fossilized megalodon teeth are found on ocean floors across the globe with relative regularity. If a living megalodon population existed, we would expect to find fresh, non-fossilized, non-mineralized teeth. Teeth from animals that died recently. So far, no such teeth have been definitively identified and scientifically confirmed.
The habitat argument.
The evidence we have suggests the megalodon preferred warm, shallow coastal waters, environments rich in the large prey animals it needed. The deep ocean is cold, dark, and largely empty of the massive food sources a megalodon would require. The argument that it retreated to the deep ocean and adapted is possible in theory, but we have no evidence it actually happened. These are serious, valid scientific points. I am not dismissing them. The probability that the megalodon is alive is very low. Most scientists put it at essentially zero. But here is the honest and important caveat. Almost everything we know about the megalodon, its size, its behavior, its biology, its temperature tolerance, is based almost entirely on fossilized teeth and a small number of fossilized vertebrae. We have never found a complete megalodon skeleton. Shark skeletons are made of cartilage, not bone, and cartilage almost never fossilizes. We are reconstructing a creature from fragments, and when you are working from fragments, there is always the possibility of being wrong. In 1938, a museum curator in South Africa named Marjorie Courtney Latimer noticed an unusual fish among the catch of a local fisherman. It was large, blue, and unlike anything she had ever seen. She contacted a fish expert. He identified it immediately and was completely stunned. The fish was a coelacanth, a species that science had declared extinct for 65 million years, gone since the age of the dinosaurs, vanished from the fossil record and from the living world. It was not gone. It had simply been living in deep water where no one was looking. Scientists had been wrong for 65 million years. The coelacanth is now known as a living fossil, proof that the ocean can hide its secrets for a very, very long time. The megalodon is not the coelacanth. The challenges to its survival are far greater. But the coelacanth is a permanent reminder that the ocean does not always share what it is keeping. So, is the megalodon still alive? Almost certainly not. The scientific evidence points strongly toward extinction 3.6 million years ago. The arguments are sound. The absence of modern evidence is significant and real. But, can we say with absolute, complete, 100% certainty that it is impossible? No, we cannot. Not honestly. Not when we have explored less than 20% of the ocean. Not when we are still discovering large, unknown species in the 21st century. Not when our entire understanding of the megalodon is based on teeth and bone fragments. Not when the ocean floor contains mysteries we have never even attempted to investigate. The megalodon ruled this planet for 20 million years. It was the greatest predator in the history of life on Earth. Whether it still exists in the darkness of the deep ocean, or whether it is truly permanently gone, one thing is certain. We have not finished searching. And until we have, the question remains open. Thank you for watching. If this video made you think, if it made you look at the ocean a little differently, then it did exactly what it was supposed to do. Subscribe if you want more. We cover the creatures, the mysteries, and the worlds that history almost forgot. New video every week. Drop a comment below. Do you think the megalodon is still out there? I read every single one.